Hello and welcome back to the channel. It has been a little while, well probably has been a little while since I've uploaded, if I haven't put up the videos from the last show. But here we go. Another fabulous looking engine to have a look at. So this model is obviously from HELJAN, however you wish to pronounce it. I might not be saying that correctly, but it's how I've always pronounced it. So this is the newer Class 26 in 00 gauge, obviously, because this channel is 00 gauge. So I recently acquired this and have been running it for a little while now. So I bought this engine at the Greatest Gathering in Derby a couple of weeks ago from this video, I believe. Get my timeline correct. So I picked this up. Wasn't too badly priced for the amount of detail involved. So if we just have a look at the end, this is all the details. So it's Era 8, has interior lighting, exterior working lighting, sprung buffers, NEM couplings, it's 21 pin DCC ready, and as it shows right there, speakers fitted, which is the issue that I had with this engine. There were no speakers inside the model. It could have been a one-off, but I have tons of spare sugar cubes anyway to be able to put two in instead. So this is the 2626 BR Blue 26-1 26032. It's got twin headlights and it is weathered, which is another very nice feature that drew me towards the engine. So on here we have premium features delivered as standard, factory fitted speakers. Okay, yeah, there were no speakers, so I'm going to ignore everything that says. So we got easy access for DCC interface. That is true. There is a hatch on the roof. We got authentic lighting features, 5-pole motor, and high quality performance. Which is everything else is ringing true for this model. Other than that, the rest of the box is standard. So we'll just drop the take the lid off and stand the lid over on a couple coaches over here. So getting into the box, you've got the instructions or user manual, which is very thorough. I'll probably get a shot of this in the moment for you all, but let's get onto the actual model. If you can remember how the instructions fold back away, so I'll just put that down there. So on opening we get the bit of foam, then we're greeted by the actual model. So if I just pop it out, then we don't need that bit. So obviously ice cube packaging, blanking plate, because obviously I run digital, so I've already fitted an ESU lock sound 5 into this model. We'll put the model there, put that down there. On the bottom of that we got all the snow plows and little lighting disc covers with holes for the lights to shine through. So lots and lots of extra details, which we'll put to the side for the moment. Bring the engine back in. So on the roof you have that hatch, and that's your DCC decoder installation slot with access to the micro switches, which is pretty good. Speakers are located underneath the fan, or should be, if all of them are in place. So as you can see, we've got a slight bit of weathering on this at the bottom, but we'll have a look at the end. So you can see all the lights, little marker lights there as well. They all work and light up. I've had to cut and trim quite a lot of the details that came installed on the front, like coupling chains, piping and other associated bits. So as I'm running a coupler on either end, that was not very suited to how I needed it set up. So slight trimming and cutting. So absolutely lovely detail. I quite like the level of detail in the grille. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but there is an awful lot of detail behind the grille as well. To open the model, it's a couple clips down either side, so nice and simple to open up if you need to. Right, so let's get on the rails then. So fan marks which end is the forward end. So if I just push it back a little bit and turn it around, actually, it'd be better for it to be this way around. I'll quickly grab my control tablet. Of course, I'm running all this on a Z21 system, so let's have cap lights. Don't know how well that's showing up. Got a good amount of light coming in the window at the moment. Then we have the marker lights on 0. Again, I don't know how well that's showing. So we'll take the camera and take it in closer. Alright, that's a better view. Now we can properly see the marker lights. Putting them in reverse, we got the 2 reds. There is a button to disable reds, so you can turn them off. There is also parking mode, so if this ends the front, we enable parking mode. We still have the cab, but we get reds on this end as well. No whites at all, so another interesting little feature. If we move on and get the headlights, so that's our twin headlights on the front. We also have lighting in the engine room, which if I come over the model, you can see through the fan. Don't tend to use that particular function, so. Alright, so now we've got the camera back. Let's fire up the engine. Now, she's only running 2 sugar hue, so she's not as loud as the rest of my rolling stock. So therefore I will have to soon do a modification on my speaker and replace it with something more bass enhanced if there is the room, which I'm guessing there will be. So now I'm going to put drive hold on, and I'm going to give her a bit of throttle, but she won't go anywhere, she'll just stay in frame. So we'll give her a bit more, maybe take her up to max. So the sound decoder I got from Roads and Rails, and in good time to get it installed into the engine before the show at Swanage last weekend from point of recording. So got a few sounds, few controls and other buttons, all standard sounds. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I am going to run this engine off to go and get a rake of carriages, which I keep on another siding behind me. So we'll send her off. Then when she returns, we'll have a rake of 6 red and cream Mark 1s for a little rail tour. Fortunately, they're about halfway around the layout, so it'll take a few seconds for her to go and retrieve them. So I'll resume the video when she gets closer. Right, so here she comes with one of my old rakes of coaches. Now I'll just get some static shots of her pulling it around the layout, and then we'll wrap up the review. Right, so what do I think of this locomotive? I for one think it's a great little loco, and I absolutely love the detail. The only issue I can ever even find is, well, it wasn't supplied with speakers even though it said it was meant to be. I can only assume that was an oversight. And the volume I get out of it, as I've cranked it up as loud as I can physically go before it sounds like I'm going to blow my speakers. The next stage of this video is actually going to be the upgrade, and I'm going to show exactly what I'm doing to upgrade it, as I think that will be quite interesting to show. So yeah, my thoughts on the loco are 10 out of 10. Another very fine model from HELJAN, and another very fine model to add to my collection. So yeah, it'll be seen in many more videos to come, maybe running in the background. It will most likely be seen on the portable layout, pulling trains up and down as a heritage diesel. So with that all said, let's take her around to the other side. To do that, I'm just going to back her out the siding, and then run around the main, back round to the other side, parking the train up whilst I do, as I'm returning the coaches to the storage area. I'll just clear the box out of the way, enough for her to get past. Right, so here we are in, well, it's not exactly a workbench. I won't class it as workbench. This is just a clear spot on the layout where I can do stuff. So, as I said before, we have roof hatch, which doesn't fully seem to stay down on my model. I'm sure it will after a bit of tweaking. So let's access this model. Now, as I've already been in, I know exactly how to do it. Just make sure your end detail is unhooked, or you will break it, like I almost did the first time. There we go, just a couple clips down each side. Yeah, 2 clips either end. So you got 1 clip there, 1 clip down there. That brings us to the inside. So this is our 2 speakers. So I'll put the body over there and out the way. So that's the engine. Now I've had to get in some speakers. And I've gone to my usual place, roads and rails. So a bit of free advertising for them there. They are my usual stop for sound supplies, where I get my decoders from. Now I'm planning to fit 2. My plans might change, but I've got 2. Well, I've got 3, but that is for a future project. So these are 25 by 25 by 7mm mega bass speakers, and I'm planning to fit 2 of them. I have an idea in mind. I'm just hoping it will pan out. Well, from what I think, it should pan out. So I'm going to speed a little section up here of me doing a bit of dismantling. So first thing I need to do is get these 2 sugar cubes out, which means I need to lift this circuit board, so that's 4 screws. My plans are as follows. So these speakers will sit in one in this area where it's got clear access to the chassis, giving good exit for the sound. So it'll be sitting upside down in that section, underneath the wiring harnesses though, so it will be sunk in a little bit. And I'll bring the cables up and over the circuit board to where these speakers are. Gonna have to extend these cables as they don't have long enough. Then my other one, if this end is the same as this end, and I know there's a screw that holds this speaker casing in, so I'll lift this board out, unscrew that board or that casement and remove it. Then the second speaker will be mounted under that bit, so it'll be sitting underneath the circuit board. That's the plan. Let's see if it will happen. Right, so this is what held the speakers in prior. So it was that with them just sitting on top. Admittedly, could have made them louder if you seal around each speaker with glue, but having that stuck underneath that board made it slightly difficult. So where I initially thought this was screwed in, turns out it's got a little peg and glue. So I snapped one of the pegs off, and the other one actually did disengage from the glue and come out. But those speakers will now go back into my collection of useless sugar cubes, and that will sit in the box as a part of the engine. So if ever wanted back in the engine, it can be put back into the engine. But that now reveals the gap I was hoping for, which is big enough for my new speakers to go into. Just going to test fit this one in this end. Not the gap is big enough, but I will have to try and micromanage some cables out of the way. And then I'll have to keep it high enough that it stays off of that little bit of plastic in there, which is part of the axles. and gearbox. But it is doable to get these in. I'll probably just have to unplug the wires on one side to slip the new speakers in. Then on the sides, where they meet the sides here and the front, I'll add a little bit of black tack, which I've got quite a bit of over here, and that should secure it in place. Then it's a case of connecting the front one to one set of ports at the back, and then connecting the one in here to another set of those ports. So I'll resume the video once that bit has been done and I've got the speakers in situ. It's going to be a fiddly job, and it'll just be easy to show you once it's already in. Right, so here we go. So we've got this speaker in. There's the bit that tack there, and on the front. Not going anywhere. The cable has been extended with the offcut of the other speaker. So that's going to ride along above and then dip below at the end. The other speaker has been successfully mounted in here. As you can see, we have same setup, black tack on all three sides. Cable then goes up there. You can see just near those two little holes where the old speakers were. Then you can see how the things have been wired in. So I've just done a test, and she is substantially louder than she was before. So I need to adjust her down, which is exactly where I want it to be. I wanted the ability to have to turn her down rather than turn her up. So let's just reposition that. Okay, so back into that one is lower than the other one. Just got to check that wheels are through turning still. So that's both speakers mounted in good spots, and the cabling is not impeding. So now I've just got to try and get the body back on. Easy way to remove the direction is speakers go under the fan. Just smoothing out a bit of black tack. So it's body on, then hook your little bits of detail back in. And then there you go. Then she goes onto the track. So you can do a test of all the lighting to make sure it's still good. as having it apart. You can break cables, so good to check over all light features of the trains, which is working. As it's late right now, I'll wait until the next day to do a power up. Okay, so it is now the following day. It's not late at night, so we'll do a quick fire up of this, see how much louder she is. I have not messed with the audio settings on any of my videos, so it'll all be as the camera heard it. So let's fire her up. So yeah, substantially louder than she was before. And with that, thank you for watching, and catch you in the next video.